I'm getting that you have some strong energetic hooks going on. I was just writing this down. So I wrote, if it's a big hook, then you don't want to remove it all at once. You've got a lot of people who depend on you. Maybe something is coming to an end. You're cutting some people off, or maybe ending a relationship. You don't want to bleed out, though, by dislodging the hook too fast. Those strong bonds need time to dissolve and dislodge safely. You could be having some physical symptoms that's coming to mind. It's like maybe tumors or tonsil stones. But talk to your doctor. I'm not a doctor. If you're having any of that stuff going on. Or maybe just like a nagging fatigue. That something's, imagining something's hooked to you and you're pulling some kind of heavy weight. But even if they're out of your life now, you can still expect to integrate or incorporate them in your decision making subconsciously, and you might be able to see it once you don't see it till you see it, but then once you see it, you can't unsee it. But just try to remember that you are everything, and non-duality can be a helpful perspective here. Maybe I'm getting some throat chakra opening. The throat chakra holds the vocal folds, which resemble the vaginal opening. So we're dealing with feminine, dark or light feminine energy, feminine power here. Just how do you talk to yourself? How do you approach yourself? Because your subconscious doesn't know the difference between jokes and true convictions, or between others' voices and yourself, on some primal level. And you kind of, it spits back out what you spell into it. It's a spell. You're casting spells with your words. And then I wrote this down too. Another thing about the vagus nerve, it's a parasympathetic nervous system. So your rest and digest, and it's all throughout your body, pretty much. It's like all throughout the whole thing, and it's aligned with the spine. And, but those with extreme trauma often deal with the overactive sympathetic nervous system. So the fight, flight, freeze, fawn, scared, people say lower vibration, but because of this programming, victims are often re-victimized. So that's what I'm talking about, is deep hooks, deep subliminal programming. The vagus nerve also parents pitch control in singing, and just how I'm talking. I'm undulating the frequency of my voice right now when I'm talking. It's the vagus nerve that is kind of in charge of that function in your body. So I'm hearing that you need to sing. Just start sing, free associate, sing with no words, sing and dance, sing into the mirror, record yourself and listen to yourself sing. Because I'm getting some activation in my jaw right now. If you have TMJ too, this could be for you. But you were silenced, like your jaw could be tensing up to close up. And that's an abuser's favorite protection against exposure, being exposed by the victim. It's to silence them. It's a spell. It's mind control. You don't deprogram it with your thinking, because it controls your thinking. Does that make sense? I know it's kind of scary. But the way into the structure of the program is subliminally, just the way it got in. So through this, I think singing is mostly what's coming to my mind. And I've also been singing a lot more lately too. So I'm just going to see what the cards say about it really quick. And I've pulled a few already. So we have Ace of Pentacles. What is this? 8 of Wands and 7 of Cups. Pentacles, Wands, and Cups. Okay, let me sit with this for just a second. If you're an abuse victim and you've exposed your abuser to somebody, this is going to make you in turn feel very exposed, because the reason you got victimized or preyed upon or played that part for an abuser is because you have the ability to feel into others so well. Your nervous system is kind of extra sensitive, extra reaching out extra. And you could see yourself as like an empath or like a highly sensitive person, definitely like a neurodivergent, autistic, ADHD type of person, a creative, an artist. But the reason you feel so exposed is because they felt so exposed and you felt their fear. So you kind of take it on, internalize it as something that you should be feeling, but it's actually not yours. Even though it can also feel, you could, be experiencing being exposed to yourself. So the way it came out for me was like, here's the Ace of Pentacles, and it's just like a hand handing out a coin, money. I think financial abundance is going to happen for you sort of in like a windfall situation. Maybe not like the lottery, but something that's like was way easier than you thought. Can get you like set up for the next stretch of your life. It will just kind of happen. And subconsciously you already know this, like you have been telling yourself this is how you want it to happen. And so, yeah, pretty soon, if not already, it's going to be like, universe is going to be like, oh, here you go. Here's all the reason to feel safe. So you can feel safe now. Go ahead. But then, your belief system will change entirely. This is, 8 of Wands whipping through the wind, or not whipping, but they're out and exposed to the wind. There's branches, little bitty leaves on the leaves on branches, so it's like new growth is happening. This is a very like card of vulnerability, definitely. And the wands are beliefs, so yeah, you feel kind of like a newborn baby again, looking for mommy. And this is this magical card, this is 7 of Cups. Cups is water, emotional body. So this is going to, I don't know, it's going to land you in a new emotional landscape. And it is, I get excitement from this card. But you're also, looking out for dangers, and nightmares. There's a darkness, especially obviously the shadow. It's almost like your shadow is being exposed to your light, and it's kind of, it's not so bad. It's not as scary as you thought it was going to be. But there is this cloaked figure here, and she's like, come at me, bro. She's a little defensive, don't you think? Maybe you're being a little defensive with yourself right now, in your receiving the safety that you've so been longed for maybe lifetimes. Maybe it feels like lifetimes. It does for me. So I have now Page of Cups, 3 of Swords, and Ace of Wands. Again, branches, leaves, tiny little new leaves on branches, new beginnings. Okay, let me sit for just a minute more. It's giving kind of like maybe you're quitting addictions, even if that's like addiction to sorrow. And because it's like you're used to this cycle of working really hard and then needing relief from all the work that you're doing. And this little guy's, to me, is like emotional. Right now, he's like, maybe like a little devil on your shoulder. Like, hey, but when are you going to really get to relax? You don't realize maybe quite yet that that part of the cycle is ending too. You're not going to need so much relief and numbing out, disappearing from it all. You're not going to need so much of that anymore, if anything. That's really not the life you want to live. That's kind of the value that you want to sort of devalue. And so maybe you're experiencing a little heartbreak over it. And that's normal. These are thoughts, though. Swords are thoughts, and they're sharp. They're the spells. So this is like the heartbreak of ending your own pain cycle is as hard and sharp as you want it to be, because we have new beliefs here that gently support you. And it's okay to put something down that's not for you anymore, if that makes sense. It's okay to leave behind things that you thought you'd never leave behind, even though you always wanted to. You don't have to go back and forth anymore. You're going to heal from this whiplash. The hook is almost out, and I'm going to go into a part 2, actually.